new working with some new software, man. So welcome to Battle Rap Science. Y'all already know, man. I'm Mega Man. We finna talk a little bit about Aftermath Battle League. They had their Fallout card that's in Shreveport, Louisiana. A great event, man. Successful event. I wanted to attend in person, but I could not be there. But definitely watched it on the pay-per-view. So nah, it was a dope event, man. From everything that I saw, they Aftermath does it again, man. It seems like they are able to put together great events, draw decent crowds, have good crowd participation. It and it didn't even take that long. They had 7 battles on the card. 7 battles went down. Um, the stream was, it was a Facebook live stream, but um, we did get all the battles. We got this. We got the what we paid for. ABL is definitely becoming a great staple for the South. If you haven't, go to their YouTube channel, Aftermath Battle League on YouTube. They got some nice battles that's coming, man. So to talk a little bit about the card, maybe I should pull the card up here, huh? Let's see. I mean, a lot of people didn't like the fact that he had a couple of pauses in his material. I should say that instead. But I understand how it is as a battler, because when you're trying to lock in and you're trying to memorize, sometimes things can get disconnected. But from what he displayed and what he showed, I enjoyed it, man. Here, let's go to some of the bars on that one. So look, C3, I forget who went first, but I'm gonna say C3 went first. She was punching him with everything that you would expect her to punch him with. Ride on snow. She got 4-wheel drive. Assault snow. Watch him disappear. Up the nose like a cokehead. Press C3 and spin out of control. How you gonna bully a bull dagger? That was a room breaker. She broke the room with that one. How you gonna bully a bull dagger? Um, and one thing I know that was smart that she did, she used the press C3 and spin out of control bar. She went first and she used that first. That kind of took some of the steam off of Tommy's C3 flip, which he came in the first round with that. I mean, not in the first round, but at the beginning of his round with that same type of concept. But Tommy, he had to catch C3, catch 3 on the hat, like Chance the Rapper. He had the C era, living in the future now. He had the dust might bug me for real. If she kicked up dust, it might bug me for real. He had the 3 points. I wouldn't give 3 to mention. That was fire. I liked it that he had seafood all over the ground, only good for holding a real diamond up. Yeah, he say she a ear, and he say she a earring stud. You only good for holding a real diamond up. So I thought that was fire too, man. Oh, and then he had the split C in half like Moses did, which was cold, man. Of course, he had his slogans, which I enjoy his slogans. He got the best slogans in battle rap, and I ain't gonna lie, when he packed this with savages, don't act like you didn't know. You know what I'm saying? So I appreciated this battle, man. It was entertaining. It does have some rewatchability. I would be remiss if I didn't say, Tommy did have um, maybe 2, I say, stumbles in this battle. He had one that was kind of like a pause. It was borderline being a choke, but I feel like he got it back in enough time for it not to be considered a choke. So it was just a longer stumble, maybe 2.5 seconds. And then he had the water break, which the crowd didn't help him. They like drink that liquid, pointing out the fact that he's taking more time. But other than that, I like what he brought to the table. I know he had the aggression. He was spitting the bars with force. So I feel like he did enough to make this battle entertaining, but I gave C3 the win. She was more professional. She was fluid throughout. She was performing. She had bars. So when you going up against somebody and you have pauses and they don't, that's how it comes out. Um, Fool versus Plug. This was another entertaining battle, man. Fool from Shreveport, he been holding it down since the Juice days, and The crowd just love him, man. He when he gets going, he just start punching. He just start punching, randomly punching, punches coming out of everywhere. And that's what he did, and the crowd was loving it. He was saying something about make you burn fat. This Ozempic ran off on the plug twice. Rounds popping out the big arm like Mega Man. You know, I appreciated that one, man. You know what I'm saying? So and then Plug went, and Plug is just so cinematic, man. He just the way he delivers his material and his delivery is so unique and different that it stands out so much. So it allows him to do a lot more than what a lot of other people can do because he can pivot on different words more than an ordinary person would. Um, but he had the I'ma do it, do it, do it, do it. Shoot you while doing the pool palace. He had the soul food, I'ma steam his cabbage. He had the, you know, it looked like me if I grew my dreads out. You know what I mean? So he had a lot of theatrics. He even started with a few rebuttals, calling out people in the room. And so I just feel like the overall package of what was delivered, I gave it the plug. I felt like if you want to go bar for bar, you can say fool. So I ain't mad if somebody got fool winning or it's debatable. But just from what Plug brought to the table as far as just his writing, his performance, just a complete package, I feel like it was pretty obvious that Plug, you know, won that battle. The next one, 40 bars versus lyric. Um, this was a dope battle, man. I went back and I rewatched it again. And after I rewatched it, I said, man, did lyric beat 40 bars? Because that's surely what it looks like to me. I have lyric edging this battle, man. Um, so lyric comes out the gate, and then that was a wise move. I see your battle rap IQ, lyric. You coming out the gate. I know what you was trying to do. I ain't gonna give too much game on here, but we know. Um, but nah, she say, look at 40 bars. You can't help but to look at 40 bars and think menopause. That was fire. Blade split 40 like Jay-Z Club. That was fire. Uh, oh, she said you got grandma genetics. You be in everybody's face. Give you a heel you can die on. I'ma stomp you. What you say? Stomp you with my stiletto. Give you a heel you can die on. Nah, that was fire. Oh, when the pill break the cycle like I'm off birth control. She broke the room a couple of times. You know, she had the you got your work cut out for you, like arts and crafts. And it's not even just the bars. She had the bars, but she also had the aggression. She had the delivery. She had the projection. She was relentless going after this battle like she knew she had to fight. And good thing she did because 40 bars came to just do that fight. And you know, 40 bars is the pen of pens out here. And she opened it up with a rebuttal. She opened it up with a rebuttal because Lyric was battling um without any shoes on. So she say, you know, something about a wig and her feet black. It was cold the way she put it together. And then she even mentioned, she said, oh, people think I'm gonna come out here to choke, but nah, I ain't gonna do that. I'd hate it. She said it'll bruise my ego to know that I got black and blue it. That was fire, black and blue bruise. Um, then she compared Lyric to Miss Hustle. She say, you know, she tired of Lyric doing all the aggression and moving around like Miss Hustle. Um, she hate this black trying to market this fake hustle, which was fire. She say she gonna spray black like a barber do. She say like a conjugal visit, she got people who gonna bust behind these bars. And then she had a Quiet on the Creek bar, which was dope. I appreciated her material. She really came to give people their money's worth in this battle. But I had Lyric winning. I had Lyric edging the battle. Um, it was a dope battle. Got a lot of rewatchability, so I can't wait until it comes out. Um, and then let's get to the main event. Um, there we go. There we go. That's a couple of the of the matches. So we're gonna talk about it, man. I can go ahead and give a rundown of the battles. You had TMM versus Simply K, Big Steve versus Boyce, Knowledge 312 versus AU, Fool versus Plug, Pat B versus Drugs, and Black Lyric versus 40 Bars. Man, so TMM and Simply K, they opened up the night. It was a cool little battle, good battle to open up the night. It was entertaining. You know, TMM, he has a fun style. He comes with a lot of jokes, a lot of crowd participation type of things. Kind of throw you off. Simply K is just like a straight rapper, so he goes in rapidly with the flow, and you know he on the spiritual miracle side of things, which can be appreciated at times. You know what I'm saying? So it was a cool battle. I had Simply K taking that just because of his seriousness of his bars and the way that he attacked the battle. He had flow. He was more structured. There was a lot of breaks in TMM's material. But I know that's his style. But it's still, in order to win a battle, all that comes into play whenever I take a look at it. Boyce versus Big Steve. This was a good battle as well. I feel like Big Steve's style and his energy didn't match up well versus Voice. Because Big Steve does have bars. He has great creative bars, but sometimes in the way that they are delivered when you're battling somebody, um, it just looks visually a certain way. Voice had more energy, and a lot of times battling is about energy. Whoever can produce enough energy in the building and make the crowd feel where they're coming from often wins. Not all the time, but in this case, I had Voice winning because of that reason. Knowledge 312 versus AU. This was a pretty close battle. It really could go either way. I had AU winning. I felt like Knowledge he did exactly what he was supposed to do, but I just feel like AU maybe had a few more bars that hit. Uh, One of Knowledge's big moments was mentioning Shizo, and he kind of gained momentum with that. But I feel like other than that, in his round, he didn't have as much traction. So I had AU winning. Tommy Snow versus C3, man. I enjoyed this battle, bro. We knew what C3 was finna do. She comes at a certain level every single time. So when you're booking C3, what you're gonna get. She is one of those battlers that is just consistent day in and day out. You know what I'm saying? She gonna bring a certain level of aggression, a certain level of bars, a certain level of showmanship, and I really appreciated what C3 did in this one. Tommy Snow, I enjoyed what Tommy Snow did. A lot of fire battle, entertaining battle. Pat B, he is an up and coming star in the South. I'm not even going to put people say in Shreveport or in Louisiana. No, he's an up and coming star in the South. If this plays out right, um, this is his biggest name match to date. And so he's stepping up to the plate versus Drugs to show and compare his level to pretty much claim his spot on where he should be in this hierarchy we call battle rap. Um, Pat B had to go first, and he let off a clip. Pat B is a rapid puncher. He gonna punch, and he's super witty and super creative, and so that's really his strength. Um, he say, "I got drugs and I ain't even high. I wish I had a black." That's relatable. We all know, you know what I mean? you get that black, now you straight. It gets you in there. You know what I'm saying? Um, back in the day, I know about that back in the day. You know what I'm saying? Oh, I love this bar by Pat B, man. He say, if you want drugs, have them. Just bring me my 5 dubs. And don't ask who, what, when, where, or why. Fire bar. Just, you know what I mean? Just cleanly wrote. Dope that he even thought about that. 5 dubs, 5 Ws, 5 20s, but he related it to who, what, when, where, and why. Those 5 dubs, which was dope. Then he had another bar. He say, brrr, that don't really sound like a gun. So everybody, it's not even really what he said, it's just how he said it and how he can interject some funny material or different things into his battle and presentation, like you're not even expecting it. He catches you off guard with these things, and he's got so much charisma that he can pull it off. A lot of people can't pull stuff like that off, but he did. Then he had the shotgun. It ain't a sawed off, but I saw it off somebody. That was fire. Um, oh, and then he had to set him up with a chick. He getting sloppy toppy. Then we killed him. He got mohead. Then he got body. Now that was fire. Oh, and then he had the 2 steps to get verified. So he say in this hood, you don't just step once, you got to step twice to get verified. That was fire. One thing I will say for Pat B is close your rounds out. Like when you end abruptly, I feel like intros and outros, they weigh heavy when people are judging, in my opinion. And so the way you start is fine because people love fast starts, and it's like click, 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 click. But the way you end, when you end abruptly, some people will be like, "Oh, what happened there? Did he stop? Did he like not have all of his material get out? What you know?" Because it ends abruptly and it leaves the person wondering. But when you close it out, you know, we know where you're going with it. But then drugs went, and drugs did not disappoint either, man. He was throwing haymakers in there. He was doing what he do best, and I appreciated his material as well. This is an entertaining battle, a back and forth. Really, all of these battles have been great back and forth. It's like I watched it on the live stream, but I wouldn't mind watching it again when they drop it on their channel. In fact, I am, because I want to see it cinematically, how they shot it. And then I also want to hear it because on the live stream, you couldn't hear it as well as what I feel like you will be able to, like from the normal footage. But let's get into drugs bars. He had to shoot. Even though you 6 shooter, everything don't revolve around you. And then he talked about at these Tommy Snow battle, and he said if I was in a position of power, Tommy, y'all would have thought Tommy was dead. Then he had a mesothelioma bar, which is fire. Just that word, using that in a bar, you gotta. That's creative. You know what I mean? It's just sonically, it's a good word to use, especially when you can make it relate to something that you're saying. Oh, and then he talked about Pat B not paying the bet versus Blaze, which was, I mean, Drugs is a vet, man. He know what he doing. He say, if it wasn't for Glenn, you would have been the Walking Dead. That was fire, man. And he ended it off with a get graphic bar. But two great rounds. This was a good battle. Dope back and forth. It don't matter who you got winning. For the sake of this, I have Pat B winning. I feel like he just had more bars, and he did what he needed to do. So that was dope, man. Just to run it back down, I had Pat B, Black Lyric, Plug, C3, AU, Voice, and Simply K. Those are the winners from the Aftermath Fallout event. Dope event. Salute to y'all, man. Battle Rap Science. Until next time.
Battle Rap Science. I got the formula. Battle Rap Science. Got the formula. Shaw with the timing. I make the whole room snap. Battle Rap Science. Yeah, that's how we rap. I know the pressure points. I know the weak spots.